Hey, what up? It's your boy. If you've been on the internet long enough now, you'll know that there is a lot of hype, excitement, and even a little bit of anxiousness revolving around avatars, more specifically virtual YouTubing. It's huge, of course, all over the world, but especially in Japan, where a lot of people credit it for being the birthplace of the VTuber movement. As a fan of VTubing myself, it's really cool to see it being, I guess, implemented into the real world. And I guess now Japan is really starting to make some big boy moves when it comes to implementing VTubing and avatar-based services all across the globe. But before we move on with the video, let me give a shout out to this sponsor for this video, the good folks over at Tipsy. Tipsy, for those of you who don't know, is a quarterly sake subscription box that delivers an assortment of Japanese sake from Japan to your door. And for those of you who love sake, your boy included, would be really excited for this brand new collaboration that sake brand Diner is doing with none other than Attack on Titan. Yes, Diner has this Beyond the Wall collection of sake that are all themed after Attack on Titan, and it's absolutely amazing. We got a Levi one, an Eren one, a Mikasa one, and this cute little pink one as well, which I thought was a really cool design. As a sake connoisseur, I need to see, does it live up to the hype? Let's find out. Ooh, these bottles are actually really beautiful. Here we have the Mikasa Beyond the Wall Diner Sake, and as you can see, the bottle is covered with Mikasa. But of course, with every beverage, the important part is the taste. Pop. Ooh. Let's have a taste. It's a little spicy, but I think if you like your karakuchi, then this is something that'll be really good. I think something like this would go really well with seafood, in my opinion, but quite nice. And Tipsy is proud to bring you guys the Beyond the Wall sake collection to the Tipsy store. If you go into the Tipsy store right now, then you can actually grab all 4 of these bottles if you're a crazy sake fan such as myself. Plus, just for you guys supporting the channel, you can use my discount code AOTJOEY at checkout to save yourself some money as well. So if that interests you, then make sure to click the link down in the description below. And thank you to Tipsy Sake for sponsoring this video. We have a Kyoto News article right here which says Lawson has opened up their first avatar-staffed convenience store in Tokyo. Now, for those of you who don't know what a Lawson is, it is the name of a massive convenience store chain that we have in Japan. A lot of people kind of like to say that there are the big 3 of convenience stores in Japan, that being Family Mart, Lawson, and 7-Eleven. And much like the big 3 of anime, there is a lot of heated debate on, hey, which convenience store, which big 3 convenience store do you think is the best? I'm personally team Family Mart, but there are a lot of people who dig Lawson, a lot of people who dig 7-Eleven, a lot of people who even dig Mini Stop as well, which is like the mythical 4th creature. But regardless of which convenience store is your personal oshi, we're talking about Lawson today because Lawson, according to this Kyoto News article, has said that they have opened on Monday, which was a couple of weeks ago as of me recording this video, its first futuristic convenience store in Tokyo, staffed by avatars remotely controlled by employees, making it possible for even those with mobility issues to enter the workforce, which on the surface level sounds fucking amazing. I mean, you know, I'm all for, you know, inclusiveness and the fact that we are moving forward into a place where it doesn't matter what kind of disabilities you may have, physical or mental or any of the above, you are just as much as everyone else, have the right to work in an environment that is safe for you and that can be a lot easier for you regardless of your disability. So for one, I you know, big fucking W to Lawson for thinking about those people. The chain's first, Green Lawson, located in Tokyo's Toshima Ward, promotes an environmentally friendly lifestyle by eliminating the sale of plastic bags and discontinuing the provision of disposable forks and straws to customers starting January the 10th, which is huge. If you don't live in Japan, you probably don't realize this, but my god, the amount of plastic bags and plastic wrapping and the amount of fucking plastic forks and straws and hashi and stuff like chopsticks and stuff like that is so humongous. I mean, like, there are still parts where I'm just like, you know, I would buy one tiny fucking thing and they'd be like, fukuro irimasu ka? Do you want a plastic bag for it? And I'm like, no. I can shove this shit in my pocket. I don't need a plastic bag. It's fine. I've got a million fucking plastic bags at home. Don't worry about it. So it's pretty cool that a country like Japan, which, you know, from a lot of, especially foreigners' perspectives and outside perspectives, is a country where, you know, things like candy and chocolates and snacks and stuff like that are overpackaged to shit. I mean, this is a country where they individually pack gum in plastic, which is so incredibly unnecessary if you ask anyone else. So it's really cool that, you know, a country like that and a massive, literally one of the biggest convenience store chains in Japan is starting to at least make an implementation on this, and be cool to see this obviously happening to the rest of the convenience stores as well. With the exception of paying bills, remotely controlled avatars will generally tend to customers via monitors installed near self-checkout counters and in product aisles. Yes, for those of you who don't live in Japan, you may be surprised to hear that, but yes, you can pay your bills at a convenience store. You can pay your rent, you can pay your water, you can pay your electricity, you can pay your gas, you can even fucking, do other really extreme paperwork that otherwise you would have to do in proper government facilities. Yes, in Japan, when they call it a convenience store, they are talking about some serious fucking convenience. And, I think this exclusion, I guess, of a service makes a whole lot of sense, right? I mean, things with paying bills and stuff like that, you don't want any kind of technical difficulty. You want to make sure that, since it is usually, for the most part, involving quite large sums of money that, there is no way otherwise you would be using at a convenience store for your regular shopping purposes. I think it is really important to have an in-person thing there. I mean, the fact that when you go and pay the bill at a Japanese convenience store, you can't even use your card. You have to use cash. So when it comes to that kind of stuff, it is very important, and they are making sure that those kinds of important transactions that are, for a lot of people, a literal life or death situation when it comes to their living situations. I think, the fact that there is a person there to check to make sure everything is a-okay, I think that's a good safety technique, and I'm glad, they are there to realize that. So I guess that's what it's going to look like. Obviously, they're using what looks like to be a Logitech C70. Come on, bro. There's better ones out there. Let's start with that, shall we? It basically looks like there is a kind of a self-service thing that is happening where you scan it yourself and then you can talk to the person on the other side through an avatar. This isn't the kind of avatar that you want to be throwing a fucking super chat at necessarily, but hey, you know what? At least they made it appealing. Employees will be represented by either Aoi or Sorato, the names of the female and male anime-style avatars respectively, developed in collaboration with Japanese avatar development company Avita Inc. To reduce food waste, the Green Lawson store will stock more frozen boxed lunches, which have a longer shelf life than products stored at room temperature or refrigerated. When Green Lawson says they're going green, goddamn, they are doing that in every possible way, because I can't even begin to imagine the amount of waste that gets thrown out of food that just expires, because the expiration date on a lot of these foods at convenience stores, like bento boxes and stuff like that, are so egregiously short. Like, some of these things fucking expire in like a day. Like, they just fucking whittle away after like 3 days. So like, I can't imagine, especially in remote parts of Japan where maybe they don't have 70,000 people going into the convenience store at every single day. I think it's a great move to reduce waste, and I think it's really interesting that Japan has finally started to realize that their previous methods are quite bad and harming the environment in a negative way. The company is also developing a made-to-order food preparation service and plans to collect unneeded paper bags from customers' homes to reuse them as shopping bags. Lawson president Sadanobu Takemasu said the company aims to open 100 such stores by 2025. We hope to promote carbon neutrality across the entire company by putting into practice measures that have proven successful at other Lawson stores. Big dub by Lawson. I don't think there is a single person who is watching this video that is against any of that. Obviously, it's going to cost Lawson themselves probably a large sum of money in terms of, keeping up operational costs and stuff like that. But I mean, this is literally the top three. This is the big three. This is like the Naruto or the Bleach of convenience stores in Japan. They got money out the ass, I'm sure. And I think as well with the made-to-order food preparation thing, I think they're also pertaining to a lot of the older generation, like a lot of the seniors and the, people who perhaps are so old that it's a real struggle for them to even just leave the house or go shopping at all. I mean, there is stuff like Uber Eats that are already a thing that has been proven to be massively successful in Japan. So I guess Lawson is really jumping onto that trend and being like, okay, Japan loves fucking Uber Eats, they love delivery services, and it's doing really well for Uber, so why not do it ourselves? Which is ironic because depending on where you live, there are some places where you can actually get Lawson and other convenience store food from Uber Eats. So I guess Lawson now is just taking it into their own arms and being like, no, fuck that. We don't have to go through a middleman. We'll take care of that shit. So yeah, I just wanted to share that little story because I think it's kind of interesting. And, again, a rare Japanese W. I think it is a really cool... I feel like we're seeing a lot more news recently, especially this year. Japan really making some advances in, just the way of living and the cultural shift, I guess, into more something that belongs more in the 21st century than the previous century. Because, again, Japan is one of those countries that loves to hold on to tradition, loves to hold on to things that just work, and are really afraid of change on a societal level because they think that a lot of Japanese people either don't want it or won't understand it or just won't use it. And, you know, I get it. For a country that has a large older population like Japan, I'm sure for a lot of those people, new things that completely throw their living cycle out of the loop is a scary thing. And, you know, if they don't understand it, then they won't agree on it. But again, I feel Japan now, especially after they've opened up their borders to the foreigners again after the pandemic, has realized just how far behind they are on a lot of different things and realize the importance of not just pertaining to the older generation, but actually starting to make changes that benefit the younger generation. Because I'd like to think that hopefully the Japanese government or, you know, these big Japanese companies have realized these younger people are the ones that are going to pave the future. The young population are going to be the ones that will be responsible for the growth of Japan in more ways than one. I don't know if I got too deep on that shit, but that was just my 2 cents on the story. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. And hey, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to smack my face right there to subscribe to the channel. Let's keep making big channel number go bigger. Over here next to my head is a couple more videos you can check out if you enjoyed this one as well. And all my social media, Twitter, Instagram, Patreon, YouTube Shorts, and TikTok down in the description. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.